Hey, what's up guys, this is Sniper Panda Bay coming at you with a new 3 video about Chopper and Kaido.
Yeah, guys. As you guys know, Kaido's one of the four Yonkos, powerful dude. And in the story of Dressrosa and a bit of Punk Hazard, we had learned about the Smile Factory and how the Smile Devil Fruit was being manufactured to help create fake Zoans. So we know Kaido, he's built his army and he's creating this massive like Zoan army and so on. Also, with Chopper, we all know also he has a Zoan Devil Fruit, and I believe he's going to play an interesting role coming up in the Zo arc and possibly in Wano Kuni.
Yeah, Chopper has that ability that he made those rumble balls that he can transform and actually kind of sort of manipulate his transformations, such as the deer form and the dog form with the little punch muscles and shit. And steroids. And then that big giant ass Goomba looking monster that he literally didn't have any control over until after the time skip. Which Kaido can really use that to his advantage.
Yeah, he can.
And currently they're on Zo, and maybe Chopper can learn some new stuff on Zo. New information from the Minks. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Oh, spoiler alert. I also think that that Kaido's also in the underground business as well, not just for the Small Factory, but also developing weapons. Because we know that Doflamingo was selling weapons to other countries around the world, other pirate, ships and things like that. But I do think that Kaido's also interested in getting weapons for his army, building up for this massive war, as he briefly talked about. And now that the Smile Factory is basically, not conventionally, the Smile Devil Fruit, it's going to be crucial to get more power to him. Like, what can I do to increase my power for his army? Whatever he's planning something big. And I believe that he's going to eventually discover Chopper's Rumble Ball. I believe Chopper still takes at least one Rumble Ball, and he's going to learn that Chopper can manipulate his Devil Fruit, which is Zoan. I think that Kaido will possibly either kidnap either order to get kidnap Chopper, or he'll do it himself, and basically try to force Chopper into mass producing the Rumble Balls. And as far as weapons, I think that some of the weapons that were being manufactured through Doflamingo's medium and Kaido was some of the weapons we saw on Zo, where the Meat Men were using weapons that were based on electricity and so on, maybe a certain metal they were using for the properties of it. But quickly touch base back on Chopper here. I think that it'd be interesting. We may end up having a rescue arc coming up with Chopper, and possibly part of Wano Kuni.
Okay, with that being said, if this is after, like we said in our last video, if this is after the whole trade-off with Big Mom and Kaido will now have, he'll have Caesar Clown in his possession, and then if he goes after Chopper, he can have Caesar Clown manipulate and make the Smile, and kind of put the Smile and Rumble Balls kind of together, and kind of make them work as an ultimate Zoan.
Ultimate artificial Zoan.
Yeah, artificial Zoan, absolutely. And Luffy's gonna have that problem, Sanji problem.
What problem is Luffy gonna have?
With his crewmates being taken off.
Oh yeah,
dispersing.
Rescue arc.
And the only way Kaido can get Chopper is if he makes him put Chopper in a situation where he can't refuse to make it. Like, threaten to hurt Luffy or anything. Because Kaido is immortal. This dude cannot die very easily.
He's a savage.
He jumped down from a sky island and he survived, and he's still alive. He's just like, ooh, I'm here.
He walked to the gym, basically hit everything, all at once, walked out, stoked up. But anyhow, to quickly touch base back what he was saying, yeah, I do think that he may be facing a rescue arc with Chopper. Not just with the whole Sanji situation as well. I think that Chopper may be kidnapped to be forced to mass produce the Rumble Balls, and maybe even mixing them with the Smiles. But hey, you know, this could also be a setup for Sanji later to be rescued. We could have literally 2 members and 2 rescue arcs. Sanji, I feel like he will be captured either by the Marines or by Big Mom. And Sanji, if he's on Big Mom's ship, or if he was like the fighter, he's on Big Mom's ship, he might be forced to make her cakes, you know, to keep the strides from getting decimated. Once you realize that maybe in over their heads, but challenge these Yonkos, and Chopper will be forced to mass produce these Rumble Balls. But we'll save Sanji for a different video. But I do think that Chopper will be placed in that kind of position, and you know, it could be like, hey, like we're going to destroy either your village, your friends, you know, do what we say or whatever. And Chopper's not going to be strong enough to face Kaido, and he's going to have no other choice. Maybe this is also where he'll may develop a connection with X-Drake, and perhaps X-Drake maybe plotting the, you know,
coup d'etat.
Yeah, coup d'etat. You know, overthrow Kaido secretly. You know, so this could obviously cause internal conflict later on with Kaido and his army. But I definitely see the possibility that Rumble Ball will come back. And heck, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Chopper has been the only one so far in One Piece who have shown to be able to manipulate a devil fruit via medicine. And I think it's going to be a much more important role later on, beyond just Zoan types as well. Perhaps when we meet Vegapunk.
Oh yeah, old Dr. Vegapunk. The big head alien looking guy.
The big head alien looking guy, yeah. So would you have any more input you want to talk about Chopper and Kaido?
Well, Chopper, he's a delicate situation where you have him and he just, with Chopper, and he just has the possibility of becoming even more stronger with the awakening type. We've seen a little bit of the awakening when Luffy was fighting Doflamingo in the Dressrosa arc with the string, you know, meat. But if Chopper's able to control his awakening type and achieve it, he can become possibly even stronger than Kaido.
I think that Chopper will also learn Haki. You know, I believe that he may possibly get observational Haki, or he likely will if he doesn't already have it since he's an animal. Animals are more attuned in their natural, you know, environment around them. But I also think he is going to get armamental Haki. Obviously, may not as strong as Zoro's or Luffy's, but I definitely think he will. He may end up getting it in Zo. Well, he may end up also getting one of those weapons that the Meek Men are using in Zo as well. And speaking of the Meek Men, and if you guys remember back on Sabri arc, yeah, I'm sure. On the list of slaves that were being sold, you know, the Meek Men were on there, so we may end up having another arc, you know, with Meek Men being oppressed and celestial dragons, which will have, you know, upset Chopper, you know, seeing people that are similar to him, and possibly even Beppo later on with the Law's crew. I do believe we're going to see the slave trade that's going to come back with future celestial dragons, maybe even later on with Sanji as well.
I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on the whole Mink Man thing with the Sabri Archipelago, with the selling.
Yeah.
So the Mink Man, if they're being sold to the celestial dragons, that means that possibly some Mink Men may have been able to go to Marajoy, or one of the Sky Islands, meaning they may have access to tone dials. And if one was to escape with such technology and bring it back to their civilization on Zo, possibly. I'm just kind of going out there and seeing where possibilities are, you know.
Yeah, sure. That sounds interesting.
I know, it's pretty
Never
wild.
heard that one before.
We have now.
But I like the idea that they got their new weapons, or possible weapons, from the manufacturing through Doflamingo and Kaido on the underground. Maybe they had either came across them, stole them, perhaps they just mimicked some humans, as you've seen the dog girl mink person, you know, dressed in Nami's clothes. And they're like, hey, these weapons, we can use them to defend against outsiders. Or maybe there's a war that's going on, you know, inside. But, you know, that's a whole video for a different day, guys. Just tell me what you guys think about the whole Chopper and Kaido thing. I do believe that Kaido and Chopper will have some sort of a negative relationship coming up really soon. And just you got any more things you want to say?
Nothing.
Alrighty, well, hey guys, just like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.